Good morning, Leeds United fans. Hope you're all doing fantastically well on a summer morning here in England. Listen, a summery morning, I should say. We're back with your 10 o'clock, might be a little bit later, but your 10 o'clock Leeds United news. As I say, hope you're all doing really, really well on this lovely morning. I've just had my car in the garage. God, all these little things come in threes, don't they, when it comes to money? All the time. But we're back here with some Leeds United news. As I say, hit the like, make sure you comment and subscribe, everybody. Like I said, there's a video on the Patreon account yesterday about transfers, which I thought was a really nice one. We're going to be updating loads of people on Patreon, so loads of new things as well. We've got Generation Leeds, which is coming back, which I'm buzzing to start doing again with my old man. He's got some interesting views at this moment in time, so head on over there. All the proceeds as well, help the channel. I think it's £4.16 a month that you pay. And yeah, well worth it, everybody, in my opinion. We're also going to be doing new merchandise soon as well. 100%. I'm getting on that bandwagon again. Yeah, the Rafinha special stuff, which was out years ago, you guys really love, so we're going to be doing some other bits and bats. So yeah, a little bit of the admin out the way, but let's get on to Leeds United chat. I hope you checked out the content yesterday as well, everybody. We've had the debrief, had the preview with Brownie, we've had a little video I did as well, we've had a Brendan Aronson conversation, we've had a fair few bits of content over the last 2 days. But I want to talk initially today about Joe Gelhardt. This is what I want to talk about today on the news. Obviously, he's not going to be fit for this game against Plymouth Argyle, but I want to get your thoughts on exactly where his position is in this setup. What do Leeds do with Joe Gelhardt? I have this chat with my mates all the time. What do we do? Do we sell him? Do we loan him? Do we keep him? Does a manager get the best out of him? Does he play in a front two? Does he play in a front three? Does he play as a shadow striker, just in behind the out-and-out number 9? What on earth do we do with Joe Gelhardt? Is he good enough? This is a prodigy who was sold to us, and nobody could believe we got him for £1 million. Nobody could quite believe Joe Gelhardt had come to Leeds in the England setup. He was tearing it up, and it just feels at the minute that he's sleepwalking into no man's land. Nothing is happening with him. What do we do? In your opinion, do you get rid of him? Because I've always had a bit of a thing with Joe where I always think to myself that there is a presence there. There is a person who can make a difference. But I think he's I think loads of people used to compare him with Wayne Rooney, but he's just hasn't got that yard of pace that Rooney has in terms of a stocky, small striker who's got a powerful effort, left and right. He just doesn't have that ability to have that, that extra yard that I think Rooney had, and obviously came from that region as well. That's why the comparisons were made. But there's so much talk of Joe Gelhardt from the England setup, from all the academy setups as well. And I just think Leeds haven't been able to, for whatever reason, maybe it's Bielsa moving on, maybe it's then the circus that came in afterwards, which really disrupted players, have been able to get the best out of him. And I think that's been a huge problem. And I wonder right now, obviously he's injured again, and you think to yourself, is there a January move here? Can Leeds make profit on Joe Gelhardt? We bought him for £1 million. What's the point in loaning him out? What would you guys do? Let me know in the comment section below. What is the point in loaning him out now? Because he's not going to come back and play. That's never going to happen. I just find it a crying shame that a man, or a boy I should say, who's evolved into a man at Leeds United, has had so much ability. We've seen so much from him in the 21s, 23s, where he's just been exceptional in certain games. Certain games, I think against Villa, he scored a hat-trick. Bristol City, a game I saw, he scored 2. Liverpool, I think he scored 3 or 4 a couple of years ago. The talent is there. It's just harnessing that, and we've not been able to do that. And in a game, in a championship season, you'd expect Joe Gelhardt to be, fully fledged and ready. And can Leeds get a good fee for him in the January window? Let me know exactly what you think in the comment section below, everybody. More news this weekend, as we spoke about last night on the preview with Brownie. Looks like Pascal Strout's going to be out for this one. Now, what do we know? I mean, I know people who've had hernia operations, people who've been in surgery. That is not a quick fix. So we've got the international break after this. I do think we're going to lose a lot with Pascal. I think Brownie was saying a lot last night of Cooper coming in and that balance being okay. I worry a little bit more about the ball progression. I'm very, very happy that it isn't Joe Rodon, because I think that would mean left-footed Liam and left-footed Pascal, and we saw that. We've seen that multiple times before. It just does not work. That synergy, that cohesion between those two has never worked for me, ever. There needs to be someone else next to either one of them to get the best out of either one of them. So it's really positive, obviously, that Rodon's available. You know, a week and a bit ago, we had that scare, didn't we, where we thought he was going to be missing for Leicester, and we were going to see that Cooper-Strout partnership. Didn't happen. Rodon was sublime. I've heard a lot of chat about people saying Ethan centre-back. I don't think that's ever going to happen. I think there's a reason behind that as well. I think Ethan, you don't want to take him out of his best position. You know, why would you move a player out of his best position when you've got someone off the bench who can fill in there? Maybe not as good as the guy who's going out, but you'd hope for a Ben White-Cooper scenario, where Ben White, because he was sublime for Leeds United, he elevated Cooper's game, and Cooper's not played really any minutes yet, has he? Unless you can tell me in the comment section below with Rodon. Pascal's, I think he's got the third most minutes in this Leeds United side this year. I think he's up there with Byram and Meslier. So, yeah. He's been fantastic for us, Pascal, and hopefully this international break we're talking about it been difficulty for Ipswich. For us, Ipswich having that break, because it's almost like, oh no, Ipswich are gonna be able to get Wes Burns back and get a couple of players back, and this is the wrong time now, because if they lose this weekend, we can really press on that ignition and hunt them down. But we're going to be able to hunt them down. They've got us and Leicester in the space of a week. They don't take any points from those games. The hunt is on. It's on big time, and it's narrowing and narrowing and narrowing. So that can definitely be turned around, but they're going to get a little bit of oomph back after this international break. But the other side to the coin when it comes to Ipswich is, bloody hell, if they don't beat Swans this weekend, we haven't won. Again, the pressure is on our next game now in a week or two's time. So that's what you got to look at with Ipswich. I think primarily when we look at Leeds, getting a win this weekend's massive. It takes our win total to 6 wins out of 7. And then you've got Pascal healing for a little bit. But I do worry a little bit that this hernia stuff isn't just going to be 2 weeks. I think it may be longer. And you may see a Cooper-Rodon partnership for a little bit longer than we think. But we'll have to wait and see with that one. As I said, as I mentioned on my Patreon video, there was a certain centre-back who I'd definitely be looking at in January to join this Leeds United side. So, next bit of news, Willie Gnonto, according to Phil Hay and a few other sources, the contract negotiations with Leeds haven't moved forward. Now, we knew this was going to happen. We don't, if we're being brutally honest, as a fan base, I don't think any of us think that he's going to be here in January. I don't know where he's going to go. I don't think Everton will come in for him with the amount of money that we're looking at. I think Leeds have got to be bullish. We've got to be boisterous with that price tag. We've got to keep that there. We've got to think, we can get that money for him. Clubs were willing to pay that sort of money for him. But if you've got that rotation sub as a Jaden Anthony who's going to be here for the full season, do you need a Willie Gnonto? And I say that very, very frivolously, because if Somerville was to get injured, we know we'd all be calling for Willie Gnonto. But Jaden Anthony's a more than capable replacement there. More than capable. And would this mean that Leeds would go out and get another winger in January? Getting that sort of money, if we can get it early, if we can get a transfer sorted early for Willie Gnonto, having that sort of money in our back pockets, there'll be overheads, of course. Leeds are still paying instalments on players. They'll have that money which needs to be distributed everywhere. People think that when clubs get this money in, they're just going to put it all on a player. It rarely happens like that. But it'd be nice. A lot of people have been mentioning Joe Rodon, getting him on a permanent. That'd be fabulous. But getting a couple more bodies in, as I say, 3 of which I've mentioned on my channel, which I think are on the Patreon, which I think are gettable, very, very gettable. I think Leeds will be in a very good position, and I think we're going to have to strengthen, because I think you're going to get Leicester strengthening, you're going to get Southampton strengthening, and I do think Ipswich will in areas as well. Not spending mass amounts of money, but Ipswich have got money. Best believe they've got money, and they'll be able to add to their side, which they have done over the past 2 years, which has seen them in the top 2 of the championship race at this moment in time. So yeah, Leeds need to keep up with that. We've prepared really well in the summer, but I think adding to that and always getting stronger is going to be more beneficial to the overall group, the morale, all this sort of stuff. And if that means we have to lose Willie Gnonto with the impact we've seen this season, which hasn't been amazing, I'm okay with that, with the other person we've got in the ranks in Jaden Anthony, and potentially another person coming in as well. So yeah, a massive game tomorrow for Leeds United. Need a win before the international break. We'll be bringing you content tomorrow, so please be locked in on One Leeds, everybody. We've got loads of bits planned for tomorrow. Make sure you subscribe, otherwise you won't get that notification. Switch the bell on as well. If you switch the bell on, you'll get notified anytime I upload on One Leeds as well. I'm going to be introducing the Discord back as well in the description, where any single time I upload, the Discord members get it straight away, and it's a little bit of a community in there. I want to revitalise that a little bit. We're basically bolstering One Leeds again. I'm I'm really keen to get it, you know, better and improved in certain areas, and I can do that with your guys' help, so I really appreciate it. Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. I will see you tomorrow with some more One Leeds content. Make sure you like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in a bit. Cheers.